Hello, and a warm welcome to Nourish Mental, where we post videos talking mental health, getting therapy should you feel you need it, and everything in between. Today we're going to be talking about text therapy and its effectiveness. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. And as always, captions are available if you need them. Text therapy, also known as text-based counseling, is a relatively new form of therapy that is growing in popularity. Text therapy is a type of psychological counseling that uses text messaging as the primary mode of communication between therapist and client. While text therapy may seem like a strange or even ineffective way to receive counseling, it can be very beneficial, especially for those who may find traditional in-person therapy to be too daunting. What is text therapy and how does it work? Text therapy, also known as SMS therapy, is a type of psychological counseling that uses text messaging as the main mode of communication between therapist and patient. So how does it work? Well, first you need to find a therapist that you feel comfortable communicating with via text. Once you've found a good match, you and your therapist will develop a plan for how often you will text each other and what topics you will discuss. Your therapist will help you to identify any negative patterns in your thinking or behavior, and will provide guidance on how to change them. The goal is to help you feel better about yourself and your life. The pros of text therapy. Over the past few years, text therapy has become increasingly popular as a form of mental health treatment. There are several reasons for this. It is easier and more private than traditional therapy, it is more convenient, and it can be more accessible for those who are new to getting help. One of the biggest advantages of text therapy is that it is easier to access than traditional therapy. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, and you don't have to travel to an appointment or block out time in your schedule that may not suit you. It's also more private, you can share as much or as little as you want, and no one else has to know about your therapy unless you want them to. Another advantage of text therapy is that it can be more effective for introverts, or people with certain personality types. The cons of text therapy. Though text therapy has its benefits, there are negatives to this new way of counseling. One of the main negatives is that it is not done in person. This can be difficult for people who crave human interaction and the type of feeling that can come from an in-person session. Text therapy also feels less personal because you are not talking to your counselor face-to-face. How to choose the right text therapist. There isn't too much difference between choosing a therapist for text sessions as opposed to in-person or online sessions. If you are seeking help from a therapist, it is important to choose one that is qualified and a good match for your needs. It takes time and effort to find the right person, but it will be worth it in the end. There are many qualified text therapists out there, so how do you know who to choose? It's important to find someone who is a good match for your needs. Consider what you are hoping to get out of therapy and look for a therapist that specializes in that area. Once you find someone you feel comfortable with, you can begin working on improving your mental health. Does it work for everyone? The goal of text therapy is to provide support and assistance to people who are struggling with mental health issues, such as anxiety, depression, stress, and eating disorders. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to text therapy or any kind of therapy, and it's important to remember that not everyone will respond to this type of treatment in the same way. Some people may find text therapy to be helpful, while others may not. If you're considering text therapy, it's important to talk with your therapist about whether or not this type of treatment is right for you when you have your initial consultation. It can be a good fit depending on your personality. Text therapy can be a good option for people who are introverted or shy, because it allows them to communicate in a way that is comfortable for them. It can also be a good option for people who prefer to communicate in writing rather than speaking. To sum up, text therapy is a type of therapy that is done via text message. It is becoming increasingly popular, as it is convenient and can be done anywhere. It is especially beneficial for those who struggle with anxiety or depression. However, there are some drawbacks, such as the lack of face-to-face interaction, and the potential for miscommunication. It may or may not be a good fit for you, but that would depend on many things, especially your personality and how you'd feel the most comfortable getting help. Cheers for watching. If you haven't yet and you fancy giving a like or subscribing, go right ahead. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.